right now. We have Willibomb versus Li.Lela. Li.Lela being the second placed player last year. Willibomb having got into several of these qualifying finals. This is going to be the highest level of Polytopia that we've seen thus far. It should be a fantastic game between two incredible players. They're getting ready to get started right now. We're going to be going to game any second. Let's not forget it is a best of 3, so we get to see these games at least twice. I know, out of the two of them, which one are you picking? Just eyes shut, pick one.
Whoa.
Pick one.
This is like picking a favorite child. Like, you can have one, you just can't say it, you know?
All right, well, instead of picking a favorite then, why don't you take me through their starts?
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing for both players here. Li.Lela doesn't have like quite the resources, but with the early upgrade on the capital, with grabbing that lighthouse, able to go ahead pick up another warrior sooner. And Willibomb could have picked up a third warrior to expand southeast if he'd wanted to go ahead and grab the lighthouse before stepping on the village. And I feel like that might have been the stronger play too. Just, he didn't know this at the time, of course, but only one animal on this village up north. And Willibomb doesn't have the stars to pick up hunting before capturing either. So it feels like we're getting a lot of indication for, you know, lighthouse start. And gonna delay capture on this village, potentially even, to go ahead and pick up forestry. So yeah, I probably should have routed to get the lighthouse, get the warrior turn earlier. But would have preferred, looks like, if there was another animal up there and then grab the second workshop or even an explorer. No, gonna go ahead and actually capture here. Change what I was saying then. Seemed like maybe some thought to it, but could be reading into the absence of motion a little bit too much. The big difference, though, is that Willibomb is faster on picking up these cities. Li.Lela is going to have an easier time picking up some of these technologies. Like, hasn't bought forestry yet, but could potentially buy forestry and chop to get mathematics before the second city capture even happens. I doubt it a little bit. I don't think that the 3-star cost, like picking up mathematics for 10 stars is all too bad a deal. Especially, you have to chop pretty aggressively to get mathematics here, so just gonna go after the workshop instead and pick up mathematics for 10 stars before capturing this third village. I feel like the archer wanted to route north with where this village ended up. Because the warrior where it is, like in the middle of this archer-warrior sandwich, the warrior in the south wants to go further southwest. The archer wants to head north to a village there. This warrior wants to get the village west of the archer right now. Or at least that gives all of his units something to do. If the archer gets the village to the west of it, then the warrior doesn't really have anywhere to go because it's redundant. It's doubling the function of the warrior that you already have on your village there. So, the fishing before this explorer, I think that made it maybe even a little worse. But maybe I was speaking too much. There's another village further west, and a ruin, and one south. So I think the archer is perfectly fine grabbing the village west of it right now. It's much more efficient for the archer anyways. We're going to see another unit picked up from Li.Lela down in the south.
Give me the percentages then. Turn 5. I'm bullying you into it. I know. Look,
percentages.
You said.
Eek.
Look, based on the start, that's how it is. Let's see.
It's really interesting. I want to see more about this middle because there's it's just interesting that there's water in between the two players here. I want to see more about what the lake is shaping up to be like. And then late game market stuff. It seems really even right now. It could go to either player. I do favor Li.Lela's start a little bit more. It's just much more economic. But then see something like that happens, a star ruin, and suddenly Willibomb has 23 stars to work with. And he's got stars for mathematics before city capture. I don't think he'll buy mathematics right now. He just has to buy it before next turn. He just needs to use the star ruin to Like get his Wego city up to level 2, get his capital up to level 3. It was looking, I'll say tricky, with how he was starting, just for the fact that you know, it was difficult to upgrade his cities past level 1 with the lack of animals they had. But I mean, obviously he's found a way. Gonna go ahead end the turn at 0 stars if he gets this workshop in the north, which will mean that he has to chop if he wants mathematics before capturing his 4th city. I don't see why he wouldn't chop a couple of forests. He's already got the meeting stars though. I mean, Li.Lela's start is still just rock solid. It's just a little slow in terms of expansion. You could have seen Willibomb really hurting for that, if not for the fact that he got those star ruins. But I mean, just a reminder, like, the ruins are there to incentivize exploration around the whole map. You can explore, take ruins from your opponent, and then get something like that, and suddenly you're in the clear. So grabbing the ruin of this warrior. The other warrior is probably routing to the village, but how does he have the confidence to know there's a village there? Without having moved yet. I would have changed the order of that, but it works out for him anyways. Sees the village there, and I think he wants to buy mathematics now, before capturing. Or I guess if he wants to buy mathematics now, he's gonna have to chop the forest on his capital. I don't think he wants to do that. He may just take an explorer here instead. Willibomb has just crossed that important 2,000 point threshold. So if he takes an explorer now, he'll get traded 7 stars instead of 5 if he were only past 1,000. No, he's just going to bank the 5 stars.
Interesting.
And wait on the explorer. Is he planning on like fishing before the explorer? Because he sees like the little bit of water between them. Worried that the small lake might be a big lake.
But he does lack vision, and as we've seen, that's not a great position to be in when you can't see the map.
Can't see the map, slower on getting in the water. Does have his own ruin. Yeah, Willibomb sees, you know, the usual like warrior spam economic Hoodrick opening, and taking a little bit of a pause. Again, like we were talking about, we've seen Willibomb play fast before, but Hoodrick's a tribe that you are going to pause and figure out, am I able to chop this because I need to figure out where all of my markets are going to go. Chopping that one forest because he wants to know where the markets need to be. And gonna grab those 7 stars with this Explorer Ruin and the North Lighthouse. So Willibomb, even if he wasn't doing careful score counting, should know that the Ruin gave an Explorer. Another Explorer! Yeah, wants to see if it's safe to step on this village, and he gets that confirmation. The archer from the capital, I should also point that out. Like, Li.Lela chopped in order to afford that, or maybe I'm misremembering. I think I'm misremembering the chop. But just playing aggressively to ensure that it grabs that village over there. Now it's a question. I think Willibomb wants to go ahead and pick up an explorer here. Yeah, the only question I had about it was not really if Willibomb gets an explorer, but if he gets the explorer on that city, or if he waits to grab the explorer on his village up north. But interesting for the way they were starting out. Both players are going to be at 6 cities in a couple of turns, but it's going to be Willibomb who has mathematics over on Li.Lela here. So 6 stars can go ahead, pick up Workshop or Explore on this village, or pick up a few more units. I mean, if you are Willibomb, you have to be at least a little worried about the accumulation of archers going on around here. I think archer spam is unfairly, I don't know if derided is the right
Derided,
word,
mocked incessantly, I think is a good one for that. You know, put down.
But it's just effective.
It is.
Like even at this like high level, it's not like, I mean, it is a strategy where you take advantage of your opponent making mistakes.
Well, that's a good
and,
thing, especially
improperly
like
defending themselves.
we haven't. That is what you're going to need to do in a 1v1 like this. And again, for anyone who thinks that archer spam oh, it's not a high-level player. It's the Hoodrick tribe, man. Come on. What did you expect?
Well, after the explorer ruin that Li.Lela just got, if Li.Lela was lacking vision, there's also the explorer over on this east city. It seems unlikely, but the one tile that Li.Lela doesn't have vision on is where that archer is in the fog. Wow. Okay, stepping off to just kick Willibomb off that village. I like it. We're going to see, there's this archer that's awkwardly positioned for Willibomb now. How are you going to use that archer? I think the warrior moves east, the archer on the city can move northeast. Then you can take out one of the archers, and importantly, Li.Lela has not placed either of his own archers on a forest, because he knows they're vulnerable and does not want to give up that forest defense bonus without at least getting some retaliation first. But yeah, Willibomb is already feeling the pressure of these early archers on the water, but not really able to exert much control there yet. It could turn into something grab some scouts, and a quick little vision check there too. We see that Li.Lela definitely has vision on the, of course, the North Lighthouse, but also the tile northeast of that city. So, yeah, how do you want to advance for Li.Lela?
Difficult.
Just step back on the village, advance towards the ruin. Take your easy attacks on the warrior there. No retaliation. Grab your own village and just, yeah, you delayed your own city from 2 turns, and Willibomb's city potentially forever. Ideally.
Well, I think honestly, when it comes to one of those cities, I think we'll know who's winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is exactly what I was saying about archer spam. I think Willibomb got a little bit greedy. Was not expecting looks at the presence of some water blocking them off in the middle of the map. The archers shoot straight through that. They do not care. Ooh. Okay. I really like what I'm seeing here. Aggressive. Not going after the ruin at all. Besides, that's too passive. We really want to take advantage of the activity of our archers here. So pushing in even further. And a population growth. We don't want to steal from our soon-to-be 6th city up there. We have a Park of Fortune, but we have yet to decide how to use it. There's so many attractive options for this Park of Fortune too. It could be another giant on Don Relo. With you got the sawmill set up southeast of that. I think you also want border growth on that city anyways. So you might delay that a little bit. You could just get stars in the south, which is a safe option, but not all that inspiring. Feels like you've got better uses of it. Especially if you, if you're Li.Lela, yeah, you want to use it there. Yeah, and the border growth. You're gonna steal from your 6th city up there, but we're going to get a much better sawmill spot in exchange, and the markets are going to go absolutely insane. No other way to put it. Absolutely insane. Interesting chop. The southwest forest instead of the southeast one. It feels like you're just losing a level 2 market. Nothing much lost with a level 2 market. Interesting. I guess it just overlaps with where you're going to place the Olber market. We'll have to see how those markets develop. But yeah, we want to see as many archers as possible get pushed out. The giants start moving, and just being up a city against Willibomb early on. Interesting bits at the start.
Does it do something, doesn't it?
Whatever, but he's losing on the land, but Hoodrick is a tribe where you're able to defend. A city right now, he's only going to be losing space, and that's fine if you're able to reclaim that space with making your own giants, you know, disadvantage of your ranged units that you can. But
Here's
there's
another
no
city
guarantee
for
that
Li.Lela.
he's going to reclaim that.
I like this map because it's allowing for a bit more tactical flexibility that we generally get to see in these kinds of games. Like you say, claiming the space, right? Usually there are obvious sort of choke points versus these like larger planes where one player is sort of advancing up, as we do see Li.Lela begin to take the advantage in terms of kills. And that obviously does build momentum.
Absolutely.
Let's see, I think there could be something good in this ruin. I've got a feeling. I've got a really good feeling about this ruin for
I talked
Li.Lela.
to, you know, my friends
Oh,
and
there you
family
are.
about it.
Sorry, what did you talk to your friends and families about?
I talked to my friends and family about, like, you know, the beauty of a Polytopia map.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just the way that, like, it's shaped and, like, the kinds of plays it allows for. They start looking at me
looked at you very yeah, so say they immediately got confused, you know. But hey, they need to know, and so do all of you at home. This was during the intervention, I imagine. But probably the worst time for you to bring it up. As we do start to see Willibomb advance a couple of troops here into the mass of archers. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to deal with that. I mean, that is a deadly stack over there. I'm not sure that he has the ability to contest that. I'd rather see him. Personally, I think there's going to be more for him on the sea than there is. Obviously, he can't concede much land because every step those archers take, it's another step that you can't move into. And it would just allow Li.Lela just to keep pushing up bit by bit and then eventually get those sieges.
Yeah, I think, so the massive archers was great when Willibomb was, you know, a little light on the unit count. But the situation has changed a little bit. Started getting rioters, which are the natural archer punishers, and starts actually training some more units. The rioters are also a natural part of Willibomb's development because he wants to get his markets. He set up his market spots however many turns ago. If he gets roads as well as the sawmill on his capital, that's his first giant. He can turn that Park of Fortune into getting a second giant as well. The markets come down, and it's his whole game plan right there. But that's going to take a lot of stars, and Li.Lela is right now forcing him to use his stars instead to try to counter this push that he has going. And he needs to figure out something fast because we talked about, you know, you can defend with Hoodrick. That's a little abstract. You know, concretely, what are you going to do to defend this position as Hoodrick? You need to, like, get a couple catapults up in the north, and that's like a whole turn's income, basically, for Willibomb. Speaking of income, these two giants, like, the markets aren't player, but Li.Lela is the player who has these level 5 cities, who's been making tons of workshops.
At the end of that sentence was tons of workshops.
You got tons of workshops, and you know, the extra 7 stars per turn is definitely favoring him as we make this transition to markets.
Get some roads in here. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now, once again, worth mentioning that there is an upper limit in terms of time taken. Right now, I believe we are a third of the way through the game. And as it stands, I wouldn't even say there's a clear winner here, but at the same time, we have seen players, when they see their opponent's momentum, they tend to sit back, turtle, play defensive. The hour goes by, and they lose on decision. I'll always maintain it's better to lose in the game than it is in the decision, because at least you can try and flip it. We had a really interesting game, and I think Willibomb was part of that one, actually, ironically. But one of the players was in a dominant position for a long time. Other players managed to switch it around and get that just decision, as we do see a giant now in, is it Thibur, and one in Ikth. It's actually amusing, because Li.Lela can't see that city. It's the one tile
The one city you can
yeah.
see, yeah. I mean, it's a really interesting, it feels even-ish. I'm going to say even-ish, just for the fact that it's going to be decided on tactics. Like, again, these are live games. The players have clocks. Willibomb's was ticking down, pretty close to 0, just that last turn. They don't have unlimited time to figure this out, and it's just unlikely, you know, how complex Polytopia is, that they're going to find perfect moves. So it really depends on just who's the better player. And this is going to be a game that's decided on who's able to find out the better thing in the moment, who's going to be able to play faster. There's some classic Lakes advice for anyone out there, like let's say beginner intermediate advice, that also applies at this advanced level. It never leaves you. When you're playing on lakes, if you're able to win on land, win on land. If you have to win on water, win on water. Which is, the water is great, it's fantastic, but if they've already taken out all of your cities on land and they haven't like wasted any stars by investing going into the water, and you're not able to pressure them on the water, then you just don't have the stars to like counter like the push that they're going to be putting. Hoodrick's an interesting tribe, like we've talked about, pre-defensive, economic, anything like that. But Willibomb hasn't been putting pressure on with the water yet. He's hoping to get to a point where he can get his market set up and then start pressuring on the water. But what if everything just collapses for him before he's able to get to that point? And that's the question that Li.Lela is asking right now. And it feels like Li.Lela is backing up the threat.
Yeah, and to back up is to invite pressure, so I'll have to see. I'm liking a bit more of the action now, though. A little better back and forth. It is getting the better of the exchanges at present.
Li.Lela's the one who's pushing, and when you're pushing like with this number of archers, you're taking more damage, and you can see this in the kill count. 8 kills Li.Lela, 6 kills Willibomb. Also in the unit count, 2 more kills and 2 more units. But it's difficult because like when that Willibomb, it's easier to defend. You know, your own giants and such. And catapults. For Li.Lela to sustain the push, he's got to put more stars into it, and neither player really wants to be putting stars into getting markets set up. And Li.Lela's just chopped for another 5 stars, so we're gonna see like we're gonna see 2 markets down immediately, and yeah, beautiful markets too. We're going to see Yorthwober get a sawmill soon, just to upgrade the market south of Li.Lela's capital as well. So Li.Lela is the first player to markets, but I mean, this also indicates maybe not the smoothest things in terms of game plan for Li.Lela here. Because if you're Li.Lela, you want to be in a position where you just steal a city from Willibomb in the middle of the map and then call it. If it's progressing towards later and later in the game, the water starts to become a serious concern. And, you know, markets just signal that you're playing. Hoodrick is a great tribe to counter on the water.
I would exactly. Now that's what I was going to say. But I would still like to see Willibomb advance a bit more on the water, which is a tricky thing to do when you're trying to both defend against the push. Make sure you still have units there to deter it so you don't get suddenly surprised. Make sure you're doing all the economic development, and then somehow try and find, there we go, his trade. Try and find the spare resources to facilitate a push on the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough position, and you know, if Willibomb's not making much headway in the water, it just goes to show the pressure that Li.Lela's putting on him. Ooh, chopping an animal to get that first market up too.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't really need that resource. I mean, you're looking at it, it's nice, but you're not going to pick up a giant over there. You're not giving up a crazy potential with it. And you want the stars as fast as possible. Like, it is a little too greedy. Maybe you're not going to like lose all of your time calculating if I can keep this one animal. When you could instead just go for the crazy market. And
yeah, it's roads here.
Really nice here.
Hello.
A capital siege. wow, could siege the capital, could siege the
Does.
southwest city.
Does siege the capital. That's some stars denied there from Willibomb. And this is like the kind of strategy we like to see from Li.Lela. These little like, okay, here's a slight gap in there. I'm going to throw everything forwards. And obviously, it's going to be de-siege, but the economic impact is going to be significant enough to warrant it. It's a good amount of stars. How many stars is that that's being denied?
The
Massive
workshop
failing
on
me.
the capital, it's level 5, so that's 7 stars per turn.
7 stars. So he's denying 7 stars.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it is obviously worth it. And that's now something he has to deal with. And he can set up another siege from there.
I mean, it's also like what I was talking about with the complexity of the position and what the players are dealing with. That's like, you know, just something that Willibomb should have been able to sell. Like, you see the markets come down, you know that your opponent has roads and that your cities aren't safe to be open like that. Like, the riders are coming in too. But like, he's got there's just so much pressure on Willibomb's position. He's really focused on, he tunnel visioned that market and like lost focus on, there's a few more stars to be gained by getting a warrior up there. So I don't think he's going to keep his cities open any longer. But that's another difficult thing because, again, like just the lack of space that he has there. Oh, whoa. So yeah, he's definitely would have been overloaded. Like he has no units to take care of this rider on his capital, but with a sawmill and a port connection over in that west city, we should see Giant push the rider off, keeping the East Village from Li.Lela yet again. I think we might see this Giant road in towards that North City, though. Depends on how... Oh, just road connections. Oh, a port. Yeah, no, he's already placed the sawmill southwest of his capital. A little blind. But either way, you know, saving the Giant push for the capital and keeping the Giant off of the East Village. Another Giant coming down and setting up another nice market spot west of this central city, but just lacking the stars. So the central city might get sieged on the next turn. And it feels like things are really collapsing for Willibomb. He had a really nice defense there, but only the one catapult up in the north and like a single archer as his ranged units. And those things are, I hate to say this, in position to get tickled.
I hate that you said that as well.
We can agree then. I'm glad. But yeah, Li.Lela can just oh yeah, that's yeah, the archer and swordsman combo there. Might have to disband that or by climbing, but feels like a siege on that Gothon city is inevitable now. So how are we gonna? We got 27 stars, and he's doing something really nice that we've talked about before. Give your, like, if you notice that Willibomb's you know, having some clock pressure, just save all of the unit stuff, like the stuff that he needs to react to and spend the most time thinking about towards the end of the turn. Don't give him time to think.
Another siege.
Might road in these archers. Take care of the Giant up there. I'm not sure what he wants to do over in the east. He could just pull his own Giant to safety. He's gonna go after the weaker Giant. Yeah, and this is difficult. Do you just, you know, bounce your 1 health rider? Yeah. Keep it nice and safe-ish. And then you just move this Giant back. So it's still controlling the village, but out of range of the catapult. You don't go after damage here in range of the catapult, surely.
Surely not, right? You couldn't. You wouldn't.
He could,
You.
but like, I hope he doesn't. Yeah, the beautiful market set up by Li.Lela. over on the capital. And like, how long ago was this stuff planned for? Ridiculous. I think he can, because what he's counting on is that Willibomb needs to use that catapult to unsiege the central city. If his rider that was sieging had 1 fewer health, was at 7 health, then the veteran rider would have been enough to finish it. But as it is, the catapult can't attack the giant. It has to
If he's clocked all that, that's an incredible play. And I think you're right. I think it is intentional, because look at the time Willibomb's taking to try and like divvy up. And yep, they.
Oh.
Okay.
He went after the archer instead. So he's planning a giant push. He could have moved his own giants around and done a Houdini too. For the 8 health rider, I think it would have been very overkill. But I would have appreciated it.
Yeah, why aren't these players playing for us, huh? Instead of winning for the chance to go to Stockholm and play live. Do what we say. For context as well, everyone, the players can't hear us, because I saw some comments on this on the previous stream. And they were saying, wow, mainly because Polystrategist Darren was very, very good at predicting the next moves, to the point where people thought that he was feeding the players information, which was an amazing conspiracy theory, and one that I wholeheartedly support without any evidence. But the streams have a 20-minute delay, so the players cannot gain any information by watching the stream. It's not quite as responsive, that they aren't able to listen to us in any capacity. They get no advantage by listening to us. If they did, they probably wouldn't listen to me. No, Lade, you're okay.
You said smart things,
yes,
though.
thank you. Finally, someone stood up for me. I appreciate that.
No one stood up for you?
Never. It's never happened.
That's ridiculous.
Well, speaking of standing up for himself, now we're going to have to see how Willibomb deals with Li.Lela's push as a catapult fires on the giant. Let's see, what's the giant count? Let's see. How many is that? Got 3 there, 4 versus...
5 giants, now not 5 giants.
Now not.
I think, yeah, the big idea is to get rid of that giant that's doing the zone of control, so that you can send all these roads up around the edge and take care of that catapult. I hope that one of these riders is close to veteran status. Okay, no vet status, but the siege of the 1 health rider anyways. And you can see, Willibomb's making all these giants, but things are collapsing, and you don't have the units to take care of, like, the 1 catapult that Li.Lela's made up there. Yeah, these two health riders are unfortunately not enough to finish off the 9 health giant here. But you could just step on the village of a 2 health rider and force his hand. Is it more if I would have the 2 health rider just die and like bait the giant so that you conserve a little more health? Or force their... No, you keep the 6 health rider, you just heal.
I disagree.
Oh?
Yeah. I think you're right, but I'm going to disagree nonetheless. I think you're getting too cocky. Does feel like bit by bit. There is like, in terms of Li.Lela's playstyle, it is this kind of inexorable, slow, grinding push. Is the best way to describe it. Like if you're Willibomb, this is kind of it's a little bit mentally taxing to have this is the 3rd siege now that Willibomb will have to clear out.
Yeah, and I mean, like it might not feel like much, but if you look at their incomes, like Willibomb's already lower anyways, and just compounding that, like you're just playing to your advantage. Like, hey, I have more income than you. I'm just gonna make sure that I have way more income than you actually. So what's the play? Clear with the 5 health archer. Keep it active instead of moving to the north tile, but I feel it's a little unsafe there too. I don't think it's a big target. I think the priority is to get all your ranged units to deal damage to Willibomb's giants right now, if you're Li.Lela. So yeah, Free Spirit and Chivalry. The same thing. This is disbanding the 9 health giant. Okay, so maybe you were right about...
Sure.
Yeah, putting... I'm not even going to say maybe you were right. Leaf, you were right.
I did it. I did it. I always get excited when we see knights in these games. There's always a possibility that they can do something big. There are very few units in this game that are like individual game changers, you know what I mean? But Knights feel like one of the only units that, if there is a gap, they can change everything in an instant, in one move.
Yeah. And it's definitely cause for concern for Li.Lela. Li.Lela's got 3 minutes on the clock to figure this out. You might have already wanted to use like the whole 3 minutes. Just figuring out, the optimal ways to get these attacks, but now you have to figure that out while also not giving up any massive chains. Can't clump your units together anymore like you may have wanted to. Just the wall of archers against a giant. And yeah, this is a climbing just to get this siege. Wow. Okay, that's nice.
That's good stuff. That might be the beginning of the end here.
And also, yeah, just delaying that veteran, give him less time to think about how he wants to deal with that. A couple of sieges, and he has a couple of units. He has his archer and he has his rider up that can deal with those sieges, but then what does he have after that? He has a giant that can attack the veteran or the other full health giant, the giant that can do nothing, and the knight. So he just has to zone of control like that, and this one archer should hold it. Except, look at the water. Willibomb can get a couple of scouts and use those to deal with the archer. The knight could slide in and pick up a kill on the catapult on the city. Not that that will end Li.Lela's game or anything, but would be a good trade.
Yeah.
Now all we have to do is move this raft a couple of tiles, and block this raft from reaching. But it is possible that we see a knight killing that catapult in the center. I keep harping on that, because I guess I'm really just looking for what can the knight do. Sometimes the knight is most effective not as what it does, but what it threatens, right? You're not getting the knight because he's just gonna double block it. So, getting rid of the raft, the scout ideas, or the attack. The attack in the middle has been shut down. But just having the knight around, and preventing Li.Lela from moving his units however he'd like to, sometimes that's enough. But yeah, this push towards the water and just. I talked about Willibomb as my example of a classy player, however long ago.
Classy player.
Yeah, class. But this, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, what else do I say? This is outclassed, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can say anything else. Oh, nice. Hello.
This is a good 3-unit chain up there.
Let's see now.
And yeah, advancing your own giant.
Actually, for the first time, taking the leading kills is Willibomb.
Wow. Let's see, the turn gap get bridged up. Will this remain by the end of turn 18? Yeah, I'm looking at the arc of this game, the way he was able to turn that push in the center of all those archers that he was training early on. And turning that one village that the giants just stepped on now into a battleground, having the vision to see that you can prevent Willibomb from grabbing that you can just advance a few more archers and to develop the position into what we get here. It's a thing of beauty. So we have a few concerns. I think maybe overspent on the knights. That knight in the north probably could have been a catapult, since we are expecting a giant siege in the central city on the next turn. And you're also worried about the safety. You're worried about the safety of the knight just as much as the safety of the catapult. Effectively, they're going to take 2 attacks from a rider or archer, or 1 attack from a catapult or giant. So basically the same, you know. Yeah, the other problem is that South City can get sieged now. And yeah, that's a cheeky with the archer. But yeah, veteran swordsman on the walled city in the south has to take some retaliation on that archer. Could have gone sailing instead to avoid that, but chooses not to. And I don't blame him. Our stars are more useful, so we're going to get this push and put it in range of the giant over in the northeast.
There it is. And we are 2/3 of the way through the game again in a 20 minutes time. If the game is still ongoing, if we don't have a clear winner, then we will have ourselves a judge's decision to decide who wins. With 2 sieges though, we might not make it all that way.
Yeah, if we don't see a winner in the next 20 minutes, I'll eat cardboard.
Okay, writing that down. Asking the players to stall. Live on stream.
So you did? The Darren conspiracy was true.
I don't admit to anything. We can cut that.
Okay.
We'll remove it in the edit. The live edit.
Right.
Okay, let's see what Willibomb
We got
does.
another 20-minute delay.
Willibomb has to respond with something big to keep this one together.
Yeah, we do see the catapults clumped together a little bit. And these I think he has to attack in the order the giant goes first and then the rider.
I agree.
After, if he
the
wants to
knights are
clear
going to be the only
giant off
hope
the
he
city.
has. Like in terms of beyond this siege is what I'm saying. I'm even assuming that he can get the siege, but he has to chain a couple of catapults in the back and then just see what he can do from there.
Yeah, we saw something. So Lily, I think, potentially had enough to clear the giant off the city, but wouldn't have been able to put his own giant on that village up in the northeast, and would have given up the chain to 2 of his own catapults. Potentially. No, how does he do that?
Sure.
Goes ahead, just waits for the next turn, says, you can capture the city, you can chop all the forest, I will kill your giant, and then just keep pushing through you. And yeah, the knight is useful for what it threatens in Li.Lela's case as well. So we need some way to clear this giant off of our middle city. And we have 3 knights and a 31 health giant, an archer. Plenty of units to do it, but we're not going to be using these units to their fullest. This is also why I was wondering, maybe we swap the knight on the north city with a catapult. But there we go, not actually deciding to... Oh, I thought he was going after that because he was missing Eye of God or something, but he seems to have it. Stars instead of a wall too. Ooh. Destroying his monuments in the middle city to place an improved market. He plans on keeping the city for a while. Willibomb's economy, despite the 2 sieges,
Willibomb's economy, despite the 2 sieges, not enough to carry him to victory. Resigns the game. Li.Lela going 1-0. The first outing since we've seen him coming second since that loss to Arthur, and he, well, doesn't continue any sort of losing streak. Reminding everyone once again who he is. What do you think of that game? I mean, it felt to me, I don't want to say one-sided. Willibomb had his moments, but it didn't ever feel like Li.Lela gave any any sort of space at all. Was constantly pressuring. What do you think?
I thought it was just beautiful. Like, there's ways that you can pressure an opponent at like a certain level. Like, you can like toy around with someone who just like doesn't know what they're doing, and like, okay. But this is like what you start doing, like you start toying around with someone who like does know what they're doing and just like making it like suffocating them. And it's just like you're like looking at it and, I mean, there's nothing else you can say really. Like,
well,
devastating. Like, he had some plays that he could make on the water that just never materialized into anything.
Well, because he was constantly having to defend against Li.Lela's push. Never was, again, Li.Lela never went onto the water. And I think flies in the face of, okay, you ready for this? This is artistic. Flies in the face of the conventional wisdom in the same way that Li.Lela has a mildly unconventional style of play. See? What do you think of that? That was good, huh?
That's good.
Don't nod blankly at me. I thought that was poetry. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that by finding that advantage and continually push in a similar way to we've seen Willibomb do it in the past, Li.Lela made sure that Willibomb didn't actually have that kind of, again, ability to push onto the water. But if you are Willibomb, right, and you had some sort of weird mind trick to see all this play out, you get to play again in the exact same way and maybe tweak a couple of things. What are you thinking that should have been prioritized?
I think there are some things in the exploration that could have been changed early on, just like some technique stuff. And then I think you need to prioritize some of the stars around your own land a little bit more, like getting defense set up early. Like when I was talking about the first bit of the game, I was saying like, wow, it looks like Li.Lela's going for this lighthouse early on, like planning to go ahead pick up mathematics like really cheaply before like the third city. Li.Lela was like, I don't need mathematics before third city. I need a ton of archers to kill Willibomb with. Willibomb got mathematics like early on, like before his fourth village with the star rune that he picked up. Imagine if he changed the order a little bit, like picked up some more units first, and then like played more aggressively, like was able to pick up the village in the northeast because he's able to better punish Li.Lela's push there. Like he just grabs that village and then like starts setting up his markets. They had like very nice market setups, but if he's able to defend on land better, then suddenly that threat of the water isn't like as empty as it turned out to be in like the game that we actually got.
Exactly, holding his own advantage and then trying to push in that case. Now we've been here quite a few times, right? We've casted a lot of these games, but I think it's worth saying again and sort of quantifying a bit more the psyche of someone who is going into a series and now has to win 2 in a row. Again, this is best of 3. Willibomb, we've seen, has time and time again been able to do the reverse sweep, has been on the opposite end of things, does have that kind of versatility. So going into this next match, if anyone can claw one back and potentially get another after that to go all the way to the final, it will be Willibomb. But Willibomb has been in a couple of finals, has always failed at that final hurdle. Maybe it's starting to drag on him, especially against an opponent as skilled as Li.Lela. But maybe you'll prove me wrong. Let's find out. Take me through the start.
Wow, going straight for the lighthouse.
Interesting.
On occasion, I know players will go ahead and they're just choosing to like play differently than each other here. Like Li.Lela's gonna go ahead and get the lighthouse a little bit later and start exploring. Like very similar starts for both players, but just different choices in terms of technique and how we want to accomplish the same idea. So Li.Lela's going to expand out a little more quickly. I think we might see forestry before the capture of this second city. Forestry before second city capture is like guaranteed in Willibomb's case because delayed his second city capture a little bit later. Both players spamming out warriors. But yeah, it's a question of do we want a workshop, do we want an explorer, do we want forestry before this capture? It seems like forestry makes sense. Yeah. But I know it's possible. I know like players will frequently do this in their series. As soon as they finish a game against an opponent, especially a difficult loss, they will go ahead and open up the replay and see what their opponent did in the opening, and then try to incorporate some of those ideas into the next game.
It is interesting.
And seeing Li.Lela go for the lighthouse in the last game, like he did, and then seeing Willibomb go straight for the lighthouse this game. I'm wondering what he was doing in between games, if he was getting himself ready for this like that. But Li.Lela takes a nice explorer, gets the East Lighthouse, and now has like 5 stars in, 5 stars out on the upgrade with a animal and zombie. So should see that a capital upgrade on the next turn. Willibomb does not have forestry yet, but might go forestry and mathematics before even getting the second city. some of the advantages of the like very economic, like hyper economic opening that he's gone for. But he's going for organization instead. So I think he's going to pick up forestry and then upgrade his 2 cities. But no mathematics early on. And again, like we talked about last game, early mathematics is not automatic game win or anything. It just means that you saved like 3 stars. Maybe you can squeeze out an extra archer, but like, you know, 4 turns later. Li.Lela going for these archers too. Because he knows that the Willibomb is not over in the east corner at least. So this archer on the south city, he's wondering where Willibomb's capital is, where he's most likely to be contesting him for villages. This archer will be useful later on.
Oh. Willibomb knows exactly what's going on now.
Wonderful explorer for Willibomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Willibomb, you take a second explorer here too, is my question. Picked up a lot of different techs. I mean, they're pretty similar in where they are in terms of development, except Willibomb's up a city right now, and has organization over Li.Lela. Another explorer or not? Another explorer is very, very greedy, and with, you know, such the economic tribe like Hoodrick, where you're trying to pick up so many tier 3 techs and every star counts. It's hard to justify, but undeniable that the vision would have been nice for Willibomb there. We're gonna go ahead. I think he has to play more conservatively now. Back it up and get like a warrior around that city if he wants to advance for vision. Li.Lela might population ruin. Okay. So was already looking fair and solid for Li.Lela's start, but I think you can justify like taking 2 explorers here, just for the fact that you see the lighthouse that Willibomb grabbed. You know that he's over in the west. You know, the vision of archers is just so necessary. And he's just crossed that 2,000 point threshold. So go ahead and pick up all of the stars that you can from meeting him. So surely we get the west, yeah. It just helps the lumber huts, the sawmills like start popping off. And we also need to get to that city upgraded so that we can train another archer. So as soon as we get 1 sawmill, we can get 2 giants actually. Because we just needed 3 population on the capital for the one. And then another 3 population on Donic. Gets with the Park of Fortune, get 2 giants right away. We only have the, I should say we don't quite have enough population or enough stars to get mathematics and the 2 sawmills, or even the 1 sawmill. But on turn 8 we should see 2 giants come out. Unless we want to, we could chop. We could chop to get the first sawmill.
I think we should.
Like the, yeah, the lumber, yeah, south of the Donic and north of the capital. There we go. The market spots, I think there was some delay. Oh, okay. This is pretty solid. Deciding not to get the Park of Fortune over on Donic for the giant there, because that's a giant next turn, when instead we want to get, we can get a giant there in a couple of turns, just with like organization and the resources that we already have. Maybe even, yeah, we can skip organization and go straight into roads, and we're fine. And we want roads anyways for our markets, plus this gets us another population spot for spamming archers, which is the name of the game. So yeah, Willibomb's already on the back foot and defending, but with that population ruin, he's able to counter the one Li.Lela got earlier with his own giant now. Does not have mathematics though. Does not have the
No, it
stars
doesn't.
yet for mathematics.
Would you rather hop in as Li.Lela or Willibomb in this case?
Li.Lela. No chance I would do otherwise. Because Li.Lela has mathematics and the initiative. Like, Li.Lela's already the one who's pushing. Getting like another giant and then like some markets up soon. Willibomb, I shouldn't make it sound hopeless for Willibomb. It's still way too early for like, you know, some crazy advantage to have been accrued even. I do like the fact that Li.Lela has mathematics up on Willibomb, but Willibomb has better access to more villages later down the line. So fairly even as far as, you know, being down mathematics can go. And again, it is Hoodrick, so defending a position like this, like I don't know if there's a tribe I'd say is better suited to countering something. I mean, just the number of archers is tricky. You might be wanting to go into like riders already if you're Willibomb. You're like worried about just losing your, like, not even to the giant yet, but just losing your Galaxy to the archers. Already getting one population shy of that giant. I hope we're going to see some roads into on the way to markets to get that giant over there. Yeah, we're able to kick a little off this ruin, but we're not able to do that and kill the warrior that's annoyingly close to our capital. A little too much vision for him. So how do we want to advance things here?
I think that's the question he's asking himself with a minute and a half on the clock.
Yeah. You need a... I think the most like standard thing you could do here is you just have to take them off the ruin, step on yourself to force your archers to not target your own. Move your giant east so that you're protecting your archer from their warrior, unless he wants to build a bridge. And then pick up some damage, and then a couple. You could probably get an archer in the east city too. Yeah. It's a very smart plays from Willibomb. These aren't the kinds of plays that you calculate like what your opponent's response is either. It's just like maximizing like what you're capable of on the turn. Li.Lela, for his part, I think he just goes after the warrior on the ruin, and he can also step on the village, take out some archers. This is also a question of technique and like how he wants to accomplish this. Yeah, I think he wants to use his warrior to finish off the guy on the ruin. I was figuring he could get a little more aggressive than he did there, because he would have been able to kill the 8 health archer and then use a full health archer. But instead he's just going to go after the siege. Accomplishes basically the same thing. This village that Li.Lela is standing on over in the east is unfortunately terrible. Like, difficult to upgrade, does not fit into his game plan of, you know, picking up roads and such. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him if he just skipped it. Like, this other village is better for him. He's not gonna slow down his expansion. He can pick up that with like riders on roads later anyways. And yeah, riding right away. Of course we've talked about roads. We'll get him a giant on Donic and put him on the pathway to getting his own market set up. But also just good for the units. Countering Willibomb's archer push here. You're forcing the archers to move forwards to keep you off of that village in the center of the map. And then you're punishing them for being forwards with the riders.
It is nice. I'm just sad about that ruin, sitting there unclaimed, neither side able to get to it.
I mean, it's just, you know, keep the tension, keep the conflict.
Yeah, they're doing it for the narrative. It's great. I love when they follow the script.
I hate when they don't follow this slip.
It's horrible.
It's not really like a love.
Oh.
So, you got 16 stars here. Roads cost 10. could place down a couple of roads already, but he really wants to be training more units. So roads don't seem like they're in the budget for this turn, but they will be making an appearance on the next one. For now, feels like his push might have been might be slowing down a little bit.
It has definitely stalled out, as we've said. It's tricky to kind of maintain momentum pushing forwards like that.
I mean, he just needs to take a turn, like take a step back, you know, get a bunch of riders, and then when he has roads to support them, he's not going to let Willibomb advance forwards. Keeping his archers in range of the warrior is, I'm trying not to make this sound like I disagree with it, because I do agree with the play. But what I'm saying is it's a decision.
Sounds like you disagree with the play.
No, but like because there is an alternative of you just retreating your archers backwards, because like look at the way that he's taking damage here. But this signals that he's willing to play like a more aggressive game, and that he thinks that he's going to that's how he's gonna like find his advantage, is in forcing these trades. And even if it's not the best trade for him like this turn right now, he's like, I'm gonna buy roads, and you're going to like feel sad because I'm gonna kill all of your archers. You're gonna be like, why did I advance them all forwards? I shouldn't have done that. Alright, Li.Lela. The Willibomb has mathematics and big border growth. I think Willibomb might have sensed that there was some danger of losing that city in the middle. So nothing really lost in stealing those resources. In fact, they're going to Li.Lela otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, Willibomb does have the 5 cities to Li.Lela's 3. There is that one obviously to the east that Li.Lela could pick up, but it is. You don't really want to be. It's not a time when you want to be sending excess troops away, is it? Do it very carefully.
Yeah. I've been making a big deal about picking up roads and everything like that. Like it feels like we're seeing the 6 cities that Li.Lela's going to be working with soon. Yeah, like, you know, just put the giant down there. Make your attentions very obvious. We got 8 stars left. We could advance some more with some more roads, but probably just want some more units right now, like a warrior in the front and a couple riders in the back. And it's just a question of how do we want to use the archers that we have right now. We could go after the warrior in the west and then finish off the 2 health, or maybe. There's a few ways that you can advance this. The problem is, yeah, you don't want that Donic city to be population cap, or like you don't want to be blocking from training another unit there. I stand a catapult. Wow, that's bold in the face of all these archers.
I really like it. He's known for it. He's known for the bold plays. And again, it won him last it won him his knockouts.
It's working.
Don't forget. Oh,
it's working. Like I'm dying here. I'm sorry.
It's been poisoned.
But yeah. I wonder which player did it. And I know it was one of the players. But no, the giant advanced like directly. Like we've been talking about the road. Upgrading that Donic city for a while now, but it's just going to work. Like get pushed into range to shoot that giant down there. You're worried about the giant there, like taking the city from you, or you've been you're Li.Lela, you're looking at that city and you're like, yeah, I've been wanting to capture this for a while. I feel like I feel like you don't capture the city either. I feel like you push the catapult down south here. And then you take as much range damage as you can, and then you attack with your giant even. Just like trade him down. Without capturing, the city's not that great anyways. And it's hard to say like how you go about keeping the city. But he's sacrificing the giant like wholesale just to keep the city here. Which I'm gonna correct what I just said. Not because he captured the city, but because what I was suggesting was an abysmally awful play.
Okay, understood. That's how you really feel.
But he's gonna take an explorer here. There's no way you take a workshop. What?
Well, there is a way.
Okay, so the reason this confuses me, right, is I thought he had two options for his stars that turn. Because he trained units everywhere he was able to train units. So I'm not going to fault him for not putting his stars into more units. Like that's what he wants to do, but he can't do it. He's maxed that out. All good, all good. But the other thing he can do, drop 2 roads, step on that village over in the east with his rider. He's already connecting it up to get towards his Grand Bazaar. But this is the city, he's upgrading a city for a workshop. Like more income, the city that's going to get sieged. This is curious to me, right? Is this like some kind of bait? Do you think it's a bad idea for Willibomb to siege here? He's like asking Willibomb to siege? I'm not really sure.
You think he could be
Willibomb
bait?
just not going to siege?
Willibomb, like, man, they both feel more cagey than the last game. They both seem more considered. They're both wary of the other one, I think. I think that might be playing into it a bit.
Like cats pawing at each other.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. A great way to put it. But now, the claws have come out. And there goes the giant in a bit. What? No, actually.
So did the Li.Lela like calculate that there's no way to optimize for the giant to actually siege?
With 1 health left?
Or
Yeah,
was
okay.
Willbomb's attack order just not there? And because if he did calculate that, then all of my confusion about that workshop like disappears.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's really brilliant too.
Well, it feels like there's an opportunity here with that giant still on 1 health. Let's see what he does with it.
Does he want to go into chivalry and just disband it?
It
feels like a little premature without markets up. But premature, but possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep him off the ruin again.
What's that?
Your own giant.
What are you gonna do?
He just moves east.
He's moving it back.
Throws an archer in.
Okay.
Yeah, another rider on the capital and not Donik. Or I'm looking at the wrong player's stars. You can get riders on both cities. Ooh,
Nice. Grab a
good
giant
use of
there.
that killer mon.
Okay. Right.
Oh,
let's...
but no unit on Donik.
It's really weird, isn't it?
He's saving that population spot for catapult then. My only guess.
I really enjoy watching Li.Lela
Isn't he?
because we just kind of have to figure out what he's doing as we go. Whereas like there's sort of like a not pretty ton, but there's a general idea of how these games go. And again, let's not banny words about it. It's not like I'm an expert, but over the weeks I've come to get a sense of familiarity with it, and Li.Lela does shake that a bit.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a take about this during the last World Champion cycle. Actually from Mayak, who we saw playing earlier, who said that Li.Lela is the most talented Polytopia player.
Oh.
Because Li.Lela was able to achieve like all of these things that, you know, however many Polytopia players don't. Without having access to all of the resources and community. He did it by himself. And this was a little tragic story about Embark on, but after last Worlds, I got to like take a little taxi out of there and like have a conversation with Li.Lela, just about how like the tournament went and everything. And he was, you know, very chill, like you know, nothing about. I think he was like if you saw him, like how he was behaving in the interviews or anything. at that tournament. Nothing surprising there. But so what he said was that like he just didn't really believe like he was going to win. Like he was like, this is a game I play for fun. Like I'm world champion. No, I don't believe it. I'm just playing for fun. He didn't believe he could actually win until he won that second game against Arthur. Like after he beat Meister and he's like, but I'm not gonna beat Arthur. He wins that second game, and as soon as he wins that second game, he's like, I can do it.
There's a chance.
I can win. And then he lost. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to come back next year, though. But here he is, so I'm very glad to see him.
There you go.
Still playing. One of the most interesting, I mean, just as a, someone who enjoys watching Polytopia. Let's call it the sport of Polytopia.
I think we can get away with that, yeah.
Yeah, one of the, just most interesting, entertaining players by far.
Absolutely.
So very glad to have him for the community.
He's going to have to be pretty good to win this one against Willibomb. Again, the ever-present Willibomb picks up Rhodes. Let's see, where's the plan? Because earlier you said you'd rather be playing in Li.Lela's shoes. How does that stack up now?
So both players are at similar city counts like right now, right? But Li.Lela's got one city still kind of in the bank. But you gotta start making it work for you. Lila's got the market's up first. Ooh, so Willibomb's not capturing that 6th city right away. He's instead going to go ahead and save for well, I'm assuming markets. He just bought road last, but wants trade before capturing that city. Doesn't really see much use in going for anything else. I mean, it's interesting, like, Li.Lela's been the one pushing, but those archers have really vanished. The riders make it difficult for Willibomb to advance his own archers too far forwards, but he's got a bunch of these giants body blocking, and yeah, we need to see some archers, so glad to see those pop up. I was also wondering about the potential for catapults. Because Li.Lela's I think for the first time in the defensive position, a little bit on the back foot even. The question for Willibomb is how do you advance, because like we've talked about, it is more difficult to attack an opponent than it is to defend, especially with ranged units, the gameplay that we've seen so far. But so we did see Li.Lela pick up markets first, but Willibomb might be doing markets better, and with a couple more cities over in the east, which have better potential for markets as well, might see potential for Willibomb to be advantaged in the late game and difficult for Li.Lela to make progress. I think just for the fact that he doesn't have to spend stars upgrading his markets and whatever else. I'm just gonna say it like this: imagine if Li.Lela had a knight right now, right? The pathway to how we're going to advance this position is pretty clear. I mean, Willibomb for his part can just retreat his warriors, but you can't retreat too far before you start taking more damage than you bargained for on the giants. There we go. Very good fishing pole. Spent a lot of time on that decision, but seems like it's an appropriate one.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely an explorer here. Get that Eye of God, hopefully. And there's that last lighthouse. So where do we want to use this monument, Willibomb? If you got, level 2 city you could upgrade, take some stars back, and then pick up a workshop somewhere else. Probably pick up another giant too. All you, bud. He's got 20 seconds left to figure this out.
15, 14, that's kind of what I'm saying. It is a little bit more cagey on his end.
Yeah, Li.Lela's clock has been pretty low too. Starting this next turn with only 2 minutes, starting a couple turns ago with minute 17, I think I saw.
But again, those extra 30 seconds just to claw back a little bit of time, just so then, okay, cool, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna grab this. It is useful. I guess to Explorer, see what they can discover. Is he gonna get that bomb lighthouse? No.
Yeah, just the path that it took going around the water, like southwest first, loses a little bit of steam. But this is the idea. We're going to get ourselves established in the water and start connecting our cities. We've got 6 cities. They're all connected, so we have a Grand Bazaar monument to use. With the Explorer, we also have... Whoa! That's a cool bridge.
All right. I'm liking it. Where's he go from here?
The giant is zone of controlling him right now. So right now it's just the... Ooh. Where does this giant get pushed? I didn't see the last place it got attacked.
Under the bridge, moves forward.
Just
after
advance
that
straight
as
to
well.
the city.
Oh, this is nice. What an interesting push. Because I suppose, yeah, all the other units are in the south, right? He might have caught him unawares
I never
here.
feel safe. Never feel safe against Li.Lela.
He's taking advantage of the fact that all the units are down south. After that push, I think kind of settled a little bit, and there we go. Li.Lela starts a little bit of a push. He's running out of time, and this is a tricky move that needs to be planned. But let's see, probably gonna pass the turn any second now. I'm gonna have to see Willibomb now. Gonna have to scramble to deal with this. And again, it was like you're saying last game, it's better to do these kinds of things quickly and right at the end of your turn, such that your opponent has very little time to react. And now we see Willibomb still not quite sure how to react to this, taking his time before taking his turn, which thus bleeds further into his time. And how do you think he should deal with this incursion in the north?
I mean, you've just been reminded that bridges exist, so you can go ahead and bridge your own giants. The brew, pick up those tiles like south and southeast, the catapult on the north for sure. You might not even need to get the bridge down if you have the catapult, the giant in the back. Yeah, you're just gonna pull your giant out of range of their 2 giants in the catapult and just defend. But even if Li.Lela is not gaining the village, he's gaining that valuable space. And we've seen like how Hoodrick matches can be with if you gain space to trade units on your own city and like move freely, how quickly that can just turn to your favor. So Li.Lela's got some solid space over in that western portion there. Yeah, steal that 1 fruit and the tile for border growth there. Nice use of the killer monument from Willibomb. But there's 2 fronts. There's the water over in the east, which both players are advancing on pretty similar timetables, I'd say. But remains to be seen who's going to take full advantage there. It is going to be a 7 city to 7 city game, so I think this is the one that's this is the game that has the most danger of heading to judges panel.
Yes. Have a little look. We are phenomenally, by the way, as you said that. At the moment you said that, we hit the halfway mark.
Yeah.
Nice little siege there.
Feels like we're very close to the mid game. I mean, look at the economies. Like after the siege, 43 stars to 44. We're gonna see Li.Lela capture, then have 7 cities against 7 cities. Just like how their markets are going, very similar as well. But, just because there's not really places in the east cities for Li.Lela to get to markets. Willibomb hasn't set up 2 markets around there that feels like he could, but we'll have to wait and see. Wait for those markets to pop up. I feel like Willibomb should have advantage. Just in terms of like economy, but Li.Lela has a little bit of initiative from how the early game worked out. We're going to see a couple of chops, and we can see a disband. It might be giving the game away too much, but yeah, okay. No disband of the 4 health rider. We'll turn that into an 8 health rider. We're just gonna heal. You want this knight to be a surprise, so yeah, that's the tile that it's most likely Willibomb doesn't have vision on. Unfortunately for Li.Lela, Willibomb does see that knight, will be able to react. We have had that chain there of the 2 catapults for the warrior for I don't know how many turns. But Willbomb's going to have to adjust, move that warrior to some less comfortable position, at the very least. And I mean, probably just move both warriors too. He has a nice forest blocking everything right now, so not the worst by any means. But he's going to have to move to places he doesn't really like. This is really nice though. It feels like an oversight on Li.Lela's part. Advanced way too much over into the west and allowed this giant to just road in, dealing with the pitiful zone of control from a single warrior.
Again, you have to take risks. That is one of them. Looks like it's not panned out for him.
Yeah, advancing that warrior up, breaking up the catapult chain, but also denying yourself the ability to train on Ulf. How valuable that is remains to be seen. How does Li.Lela defend this? Is there a way? You've got the catapult in range, but that's a pretty close to full health giant there. Got some stars. You have to use the knight. And then there's a scout with everything here. Finish it off. You can road in. You just have to pull your one giant back a little bit. Yeah, and then road in this other archer. But yeah, fortunate. I think this might even be better for Li.Lela. You lose like 4 stars on the siege, but he lost it. You had to use your knight too, but your knight really wasn't doing much else, and that's very replaceable.
Still has the edge
the
in terms of kills, by the way. 4 kills to 17.
Yeah. So the knight wasn't able to be a surprise. Wasn't able to open up anything with you know, some big chain on the catapults. And chivalry in general saved the city.
Hooray!
So, yeah. But counterpoint is the odds that you probably would have been putting into the water otherwise. And your east is very difficult to defend. I'm not seeing the killer blow for Li.Lela here. Now we're gonna finish this one off. And the reason I'm talking about like trying to find a killer blow anyways is just that Willibomb has markets yet to be set up over in the west and already like has an economic advantage. I feel like the longer this game goes on, the more important it's going to be that we have these villages over in the south.
Yeah, I completely agree. It does feel like Willibomb can, I want to say the word stall, but he can, he doesn't need to push any of the action just yet. He can kind of let it out and slowly have an advantage come through.
He's determined to win. Like, believe it or not, he's been making it to these qualifiers not just for the love of the game, but because he wants to win one of them. And I know he makes it seem like it's really easy because like he shows up every week and he's there playing.
Yeah.
But it is actually quite a bit of effort to make it through any of the qualifiers, or at least you want to bring your A game, and Willibomb's been trying for quite a while, showing off like he's serious about this, turning what looked like a tough situation, like on initiative early on, into something really nice here. Wow, that's a pretty aggressive placement of the archer, but he's really asking the question, like, what is this giant going to do if not back up? What units are going to go after this archer anyways?
What is Li.Lela's path to victory, if one was to be found? What's he relying on?
So the wall in the East City, didn't mention it, but very nice. That feels like the start. Like you shut down Willibomb from stealing those cities from the water. You need to get control of the water too, because imagine that, like, the situation on land is bad enough. Imagine if Willibomb starts rolling up with some bombers that are in range of, like, Donic and Olwa, and that you can't really deal with. Okay, I'm really interested to see that because, yeah, the giant has just been placed in range of the catapult. I thought for sure the Donic Archer would have gone a couple tiles south in order to, we call it neutering the catapults when you shoot them, taking them down to 1 health, because their damage output is greatly reduced. But it doesn't go after the catapult either, so a full health catapult is going to attack this giant here.
Sailing.
But yeah, Li.Lela's path is going to be trying to do the most on the water.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, doesn't have org though either. Willibomb's organization pickup from way back at the start of the game, useful now in getting defenders on the water. Yeah, but it feels tough, like, you know, down 11 stars of income. And, like, Willibomb has another market yet.
Yeah.
Like a level 1 city too. Star Ruin too, okay, why not?
Yeah, just to add it in. 64 stars. If he gets 100, he can redeem just an instant win. How it works, right?
Then you get some monument for it. Yeah, this catapult in the east is nice, otherwise it would be really nice Juggernaut splash into the walled city here. I mean, he could still go for it too. Like, I don't think he should. He could. So we're gonna see a repeat actually of the giant that can just slide straight into the city. Willibomb wants to get another road there in the middle. This catapult can take some damage on the giant. It's got a defense bonus, but never nice to take a hit from a catapult. Very nice. Upgrading from level 1 to giant all in the same turn. And, like, not even using half your stars to do it. Willibomb's economy is just exploding in a way, like, is there a way to come back from this? Especially now that you're seeing, like, the shields come out.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. We knew this game was going to be cagey. It does feel like Willibomb's starting to slowly shore up his position, and without Li.Lela being able to quickly hop into cities and try and cause a little bit of chaos, functionally, it's going to be a lot harder for him to get anything going. And look at the star difference, man. Look at that. It's just a massive income gap.
Yeah,
what could he do?
If you go back in time and decide that knights weren't the play.
Okay, cool. How can he do that?
Well, first he's got to get a time machine.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that would be against the rules, though, to, you know, use information from the future. But, well, I think it's an airbed exclusion. Like, it's not against the rules. There's no rule against using a time machine to gain an advantage against your opponent. I have to apologize to you, actually. I think I've mentioned airbud rulings to you more than anyone else in my life at this point.
Look, we're gonna have to discuss it. All right, it's live on air, it's not the time or place, but it's been noted. It's been taken up with the relevant authorities.
Relevant authorities.
Yeah, we're escalating it. I'm sorry.
Eek.
Eek is exactly what Li.Lela's thinking, I think, at this point.
Yeah, the warriors are nice, but you got 46 stars here. Are you able to go straight into strategy, pick up like a walled defender, start putting some shields into the water? The knights haven't accomplished too much yet, but still putting some stars into them.
Yeah, they're an ace in the hole.
They are nice. I mean, we saw like just what, a turn or something ago, or whenever the knights came out, like 30-something turns ago. Willibomb just have to react and start moving the catapults around. So they're still, you know, spacing out the units, making it inconvenient for Willibomb to advance willy-nilly however he'd like. He'd like to advance Willibomb though, but they're not. I don't see them picking up a chain with just no sheer number of diamonds and like no way for Li.Lela to deal with them. Do you like the advancement of these catapults? Like Li.Lela looks like the idea is to advance on land, make a breakthrough over there. Saved up a bunch of stars before the end of the last turn. Still not going to start the next turn. Like Willibomb's income though, even if the 21 stars banked, which but probably the shields in the future possible. He's got sailing from Willibomb. Some bombers might be coming in soon, and I think the bombers might also spell curtains for Li.Lela in this game. Seems very likely that we're going to be moving into game 3 now. But if I give it to anyone to win a position like this, I give it to Li.Lela.
Still, I appreciate your admiration for the cause, but look at the difference in stars. Look at the difference in unit count, in pretty much every measurable statistic. It's going to take more than Li.Lela playing well. It's going to take Willibomb playing badly.
You think Willibomb has it in him to play badly?
I think no.
Yeah.
So
not badly enough to lose this one, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be very tricky. I mean,
stranger things have happened.
We have a final 15 minutes now, so Li.Lela not only needs to not lose, they need to do enough in 15 minutes to turn the tide of a judge's decision. Because that's what we're looking at this point, right? There's a massive army amassing, but I don't see that he can do
Li.Lela
enough.
will resign, or it will make it to judge's decision.
Yeah.
Li.Lela is not winning in 15 minutes unless Willibomb blunders some massive chain straight to his capital.
Yeah, and that's
give up some chain here. Not a chain worth like celebrating, but
a chain.
with the archer rider knight combo. Does this even kill?
No.
It does not kill. Otherwise would have picked up the catapult too.
Shame.
But picks up some damage. Makes it in that one giant was body blocking the catapult, stopping earlier chains, and allowing him to train units on that city because imagine the same thing, but you see where that market is. There's not a forest. No forest means the knight is not blocked. You can slide right through there, and a couple archers and the knight would have gone through the defender on the city. Picked up the catapult as well. Kept the giant nice and healthy. So we are making some progress on land. Are we surviving on the water though? And even if we're surviving, we're certainly not thriving on the water. But yeah, Willibomb's got some very obvious bomber ideas on this next turn. Put it like that. Got a defender's raft and a warrior raft that are begging to become bombers.
Yeah, and moving a catapult one tile's not going to be the one. Ramming? Okay.
Solid. I feel like we're going to see a couple of bombers, and then the giant will siege the walled city. And we pick up some splash damage on all the rammers. Also zone. Good move in just like this too.
Oh, the rammers, perfect, fantastic. They didn't seem to do too much.
Yeah, he's gonna siege with the defender instead. Advance a new potential bomber. Ooh, keeping this bomber. Does he turn the defender into one? Yes, that's a very nice bomber. I think we might be seeing resignation at this.
Yeah.
You're not saving that walled city in the east. It was bad enough before, but it's only getting worse.
And finally takes the edge in terms of kills. I mean, I think at this point, Willibomb should just run forwards. There's nothing to stop you. Just do it.
I feel like he's got the income. He can do anything.
He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, look at it. You probably lose most of his units and come back.
Yeah, I think all he really, let's say, wants to do is just pick up like a knight on the next turn. I mean, like, there's no knights this turn, but
again, I think he can be a bit reckless here. And just, go for it. Why not?
I mean, he's already down. Like, he lost game 1. He wants to advance to the finals.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to point out is that look at the income disparity, look at the amount of kill disparity, look at the unit disparity. I mean, the only thing defending Ulwa is there's an archer with 1 health. I think at this point, maybe Li.Lela's hoping that Willibomb disconnects.
Yeah, the DDoS strategy.
Yeah, the DDoS strat. The hired hitman strategy. We'll see if it pulls off here.
Yeah. I think he's done a good job advancing anyways.
Ooh, hello.
Just for the fact that...
That's very nice.
That is a nice chain. Like, this is the kind of thing you're trying to avoid, but...
Take it back, you shouldn't be reckless. What a terrible idea. Don't be reckless. Why would you listen to that?
Don't be reckless around knights, basically.
No, I am being very
but
hyperbolic here, but you understand my meaning.
Oh, for sure. I think we saw like the version of that like Willibomb's capable of is like the way he advances giants over in the west. Like, there's a catapult there, like there's 2 other giants, and Willibomb is still advancing his own. He sees a lot of potential to I'll say potential for trouble. That he can start like taking care of Li.Lela's final defenders, these last 2 giants over here at least. So gets his own bomber, and it is a very nice bomber going to finish off this juggernaut. But the city's still lost. Were you able to pick up the last forest there? Yay or nay? Are we gonna chop the Li.Lela? 30 seconds left on the clock. 10 stars. Yeah, knight on the capital is not safe with the rider where it is. That says get a couple archers. There's 4 stars left. It was an important kill to pick up on the 1 defender that he chained through with the 2 knights, because otherwise you'd have a defender roading in to siege your city there. So now you've got this annoying knight that can promote down in the south, and also that you're not really in range with anything except your bomber to take care of. So you're just gonna use the bomber. Okay.
Let's do it.
He's got the stars to a couple of bombers.
A modest amount.
He trained this bomber, he can't even use it. There's no target, he killed everything that was in range of it. I think, they invented the word excessive to describe this. But I guess it's not excessive if Li.Lela's not resigning. Also not chopping that forest. Is he planning on taking the city back? Or is it just the time's got to him?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like what we're looking for is some kind of killer blow here.
And it's going to have to come in the next 9 minutes.
Yeah. I just mean how we're going to turn, no siege. Oh no, he's going to siege with the giant, of course.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go, yeah.
Willibomb does make it 1-1. We have said before several times that he is a mentality monster. Doesn't matter how many times he gets knocked back down into the dirt, he steps straight back up, and here we go, 1-1. 1 game away from the final. What do you think of that game? Because at the start of the game, you were saying that Li.Lela, much better position. Adamant that Li.Lela was in a much better position. What did Willibomb do that made you think, actually, well, that resulted in this this result?
I feel like he just played like a more solid game. It was kind of more like, what was Li.Lela's game lacking? Li.Lela put a lot into like pressuring Willibomb
Yes.
and trying to get like some advantage there. And at the same time, like we were seeing things like, you know, picking up a workshop instead of grabbing, you know, a fifth city. So we're like missing out on, you know, some city upgrades and such and expansion over into the east. But I think that was really necessary for Li.Lela like late game. And like we were just like missing out on stars like that. I feel like the knights also didn't really amount to anything, and it's kind of like the overarching thing of way too much emphasis on trying to get an attack over on the land when it's like it didn't end up panning out, didn't end up working. We needed a different strategy. Like Willibomb was able to play like just really solid the entire game and no problems.
Yeah, and that's sometimes that is all you need to do. Play solid and hope your opponent makes mistakes, which obviously easier said than done. It's interestingly you mentioned the pressure aspect. Bear in mind that obviously that pressure did help Li.Lela in that first one, and Willibomb is a very versatile player and is able to adapt to various strategies thrown at him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this final iteration. But between the three players that remain, Dux, Willibomb, and Li.Lela, any one of them really could take the entire thing. I don't know. If you had to pick, having seen all the three players play at this point, which one do you think is going to take it to the final? Obviously, assuming whoever you say wins this one and so on.
So I think that I've seen the most from Willibomb Li.Lela for sure.
Yeah.
In their two games, as opposed to the two games that Dux played. Those were, you know, he was in control the whole time, but very quick too.
Wasn't challenged.
These I've seen, you know, more depth from the players, like how they're going to be playing Hoodrick, and especially like on today, how they're going to play Hoodrick today. I feel like Willibomb's shown like that he's you know, the solid player. Like he's going to go for, you know, like you know, really just solid like improving choices the whole time. Whereas Li.Lela's got you know, that aggressive style, like pushing in a little more unconventional way. I know, which is more entertaining, which is more exciting in that way.
It makes us a little bit biased. Well, speaking of entertainment, we did say that this one was going to be the highest level so far. I think it's lived up to it, but we have only one game left. The winner of this one goes to the final to be within touching distance of being the representative of the Hoodrick tribe. Take it away. What do you think this start looks like to you?
So, doubling down on the conservative and economic approach from like both sides here. The lighthouse is a couple tiles away, so it's going to be the archer that goes and grabs it, picks up the workshop a turn early with that warrior. And yeah, Willibomb has to decide what is he going to do. In that first game, it seemed like the lighthouse was the way to go, but the village he had was also a tile closer to that lighthouse. This game, it doesn't seem like there's all that many attractive options for a third warrior for Willibomb. So it makes a lot of sense to go on the village, and he's rewarded with 2 animals on his village this time, instead of the one that we saw in the very first game. So another workshop for sure here, before he even steps on that central village. This is, okay, I was wondering where that archer for Li.Lela was going to go. If it was going to head south down around the outside. But not gonna have to worry about that. Go ahead and send it straight into the middle. It's an interestingly shaped lake. This explorer is going to pick up a lighthouse. We probably would have rathered it go meet his opponent and pick up a more useful vision, more vision that's more pertinent to the fighting that's about to go on. South Forestry just get picked up. We can see a chop happen here to upgrade this Wawi city. And chopping the north one, the alternative was harvesting the animal, chopping the east forest, the Liberhead up north. But deciding to go ahead and grab it like this. And this is the kind of explorer that Willibomb was probably hoping for.
Very nice. Goes
Oh,
all the way, carving
Wow.
a par.
And then, yeah, the 5 stars he gets from meeting him to upgrade the capital too. Pick up another archer. Okay, that's kind of disgusting. But the Willibomb fires back. Doesn't even have forestry yet though. Of all these villages, that's that's the price you pay for not picking up the early lighthouse. So Li.Lela does not know where that explorer went. Knows it didn't go to his lighthouse at least. But Willibomb does have an explorer in that middle city. Okay. Very aggressive archer spam.
I like it.
from Li.Lela.
I like it.
Worked out in game 1. It feels like it should work out here as well. But it's a much more solid position for Willibomb again, and we've seen how he works through those solid positions. The advantage I'd give him in this, yeah, he's already planned out his markets. It looks like he's planning out a market northeast of Berwick, southwest of Wake, and then the markets east and south of those 2 cities. And we've got like a level 5 sawmill in level 8 market on Olden. So yeah, Willibomb's got a great start, and this Wake City is not really in any danger, not really in any quick danger anyways, of something bad happening here, of getting lost. Like the archers will be able to take this 3rd city from Willibomb, but likely not push further beyond that. And yeah, the warrior's going to go ahead and like bring the archers closer into the fight. So Li.Lela will pick up this 3rd city in a couple of turns, like the ruin as well. But there is a little bit of a problem here. For Li.Lela, just the fact that look at the city count, like 4 villages against 3. And this 3rd village isn't even a 3rd village, it's a I'm eventually going to be getting a 3rd village. Mathematics before this city capture. Yeah, need to keep that forest alive on that Don city in order to go ahead and pick up that succulent level 8 market. We're gonna go for another archer instead of... There's potential for Sawmill to get a workshop. The other archer is going to be necessary just for keeping that village around. Keep Li.Lela off that village towards the middle. And I feel like I like Willibomb's position here much more.
Yeah.
Like, I already allowed myself to start thinking about what am I going to say about Ducks versus Willibomb? But can't start doing that now. Not on turn 7.
And as we've seen, Lela does not give up. Very, very reluctant to yield the losing position.
No need to either when so much of the map is unexplored. Like, haven't seen what's going on in the south at all. And even if we're delayed in picking up this central city, it seems like we still force it. Okay. Some nice damage on the archer up there. Asking, what are you going to do? Like, we might force you to choose between grabbing the village and... Yeah, the warrior is really nice here. Because if you're Willibomb, you're just saying that you're backing yourself to push it with the giant on the next turn, so it'll be in range of the village. You got some nice defense bonus. But Li.Lela saying I can delay getting the ruin for 1 more turn, no problem. And you can push that warrior, I will capture this city. You have no archers in range. So Li.Lela is grabbing the city. We'll be able to pick up a cheaper mathematics, but also just down in initiative. And we've seen how big the space advantage or disadvantage can be. Oh, a border growth! Wow!
I like it.
Yeah, steal the space from that middle city. So the number of archers trained was very good, but giving up a defense bonus for this warrior. We've got the archers in range for Li.Lela to go ahead and take them off, but it's going to be difficult defending this. We get our own giant to counter Willibomb's giant, but Willibomb gets the space for him to like make a catapult in this middle city. And then suddenly you're dealing with, you know, archers catapult giant against your giant. Li.Lela's got the archers too, but you can't keep training all the archers and have stars to get your mathematics giant in the middle of the map. Oh, doesn't have the archers to kick Willibomb off the ruin either. No. Hallucinating some archers, maybe. But 23 stars here. Like, you pick up mathematics and start working on that. I mean, the other thing about the mathematics pickup is just look at the resources around. You know, for lack of better words, or not for lack of better words, actually, I think I just want to say this. They're trash. The resources are trash. Yeah, mathematics and organization picked up the same turn. Yeah, we need organization in order to get the giant in the central city. And it's this level 1 city that we're relying on getting upgraded all the way to level 5 right now. For our first giant. Not our capital, with the lighthouse populations. Because the resources just aren't there for it. And Willibomb's already working on markets. In the Star Ruin! Nice. Star Ruin! Up, nice. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, he's gonna sit down and think a little bit longer now what to do with those things.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's got 2 of his sawmills that he wants set up, and then they're both level 3. He can get 2 level 6 towers. He can get his guys set up, and then with those markets snowball into markets everywhere else too. It's gotta be a little bit careful at least about what he does with his giants here. I mean, before he starts thinking about markets, he's got 17 stars right now. He already has riding. I'll pick up a couple riders, advance your giants. He wants to shoot your giants, you attack them with riders on roads. Then, you know, let's say 2, and if it's really bad, like 3 turns. But he's backing up. He's not keeping his foot on the gas, so to speak. But I think he's still in a fine position. But yeah, this is I think this is better for Li.Lela to just be dealing with less pressure. I think Willibomb got overly spooked. He assumed that there were more archers in the fog than there really were. And I also think that if he had an explorer that went over to the east, and he saw that this was like a phantom threat, that there weren't really all of these archers in the fog, that he wouldn't be backing up right now. But he's backing up his giants and playing pretty conservatively to get his market set up as quickly as possible. This is also a good strategy. Like, get your, if you've got better markets than your opponent, and you're gonna get them set up more quickly, go for it. Like, who am I to tell him otherwise?
The caster.
So a nice border growth here too.
You can tell him otherwise.
Oh yeah, I'm not a commentator. I can do whatever.
Exactly.
Wait. Feels so powerful all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do. We can shape the people's opinions. There was about a good 50 people that had one opinion. You said that, they think the other thing. It's pretty fantastic. Like, for example, who would you be rather playing as?
A Willibomb.
Exactly. Or a couple of people looking at Li.Lela's thing and thinking, no, maybe it's that. No, actually, yes, I agree with the caster. Yes.
I find I can be very persuasive from time to time. Watch this. I think Willibomb, he's going to chop the forest southwest of his capital and west of that Orlan city.
I agree.
And get a second level 6 market. No, a rider. Whatever.
Man, you really gambled.
Not that persuasive.
So what does Li.Lela have to do to turn this one around?
Well, the good thing for him is that he doesn't have to worry immediately about his central city getting stolen. He wasn't super worried about it anyways because he had the resources to push a giant there. What he would have been worried about after that was, you know, if the Willibomb follows up and like has catapults and stuff, and then starts chipping down the giant that he gets in the middle. He would chip down with the archers, but he doesn't have to worry about any of like those immediate tactical concerns. He's in a game with Willibomb, like Willibomb said, truce, let me set up my eco. And Li.Lela said, I didn't know that I was agreeing to a truce, but I can't really do anything about it anyways. So they're both just setting up like markets right now. And the bad thing for Li.Lela in that is that Willibomb already has rioting and roads and trade and put down the first market. Whereas Li.Lela doesn't even have rioting.
Yeah.
So in this market battle, I mean, that's like the option that Willibomb gave him because like he's gonna push against the multiple giants that Willibomb has. No. He's just gonna give like Willibomb this level 8 sawmill, or sorry, level 8 market. We could see level 8 market, level 3 market. We could see like catapult from Berwick. I'd rather see the markets get upgraded, but he's just gonna go for another giant. Okay. We're gonna have to wait a whole 1 turn to see this level 3 market up in the North City. But yeah, over double the income of Li.Lela here.
It's going to be a tricky walk back for the second rank player. Is he in your house? Did he get you?
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming after me.
That's why he's taking so long on his turn.
He paused the warrior. He didn't appreciate some of the things I've said about him. I guess that's why I'm not so powerful as a caster. I'm as I say. For better or for worse. I think mostly for better. I try to say things that are right usually.
Yeah.
But his murder attempt didn't actually work on me, so it'll be okay. I like this play from him, picking up fishing. Like we've seen control of the water turn into game wins before. And the tricky thing is with the income Willibomb has, getting sailing everything, all those techs is not too much of an obstacle. And also, Hoodrick, these cities are giant factories, and those juggernauts getting pushed into the water is the path to getting established there, even if he's needs to do it later. So there we go, the level 8 market, and probably, this level 3 market getting set up as well.
Such
up in
an
north.
income disparity, that, honestly.
I love, before he picked up fishing, that 4-5-4-5 score he had for just a brief second. Just kind of nice. Also, he's making it evident that, it was a little silly for me, maybe even, to suggest chopping that forest down there. He's going to use it to pick up another giant right away. Would have been delayed a turn, but I could have grabbed it with port connection in the south. Picks up a turn earlier by using that lumber hut. So we got fishing, and fishing is foregoing like the markets just entirely. He sees those 2 towers over there, and he knows like late game not winning on the markets. Let me just get a few bombers and like try to suppress him from entering the water in the first place. But he's going to be in time for that. It is a little bit of a desperate move, but it is a move. It's something that feasibly transitions into winning the game. Yeah, he's putting it with the catapults too. Willibomb's been feeling pretty comfortable, like not training anything. I mean, the problem is like how solid his position is. Like all 4 of the villages, like, just so close together. Like, the units from all of those cities. He's got back, and the pretty close. Stay nice and safe. A very big East Lighthouse pickup, and finally gets that vision that he was denied for so long over into the capital. So now Willibomb can stoop into a bit of a think about what he does with his remaining 31 stars here. And
His best,
just
I
put up
imagine.
more ports. Just get into the water, dominate. You could see a cool bridge play here the next turn for picking up that village. However he wants to do it. It's,
How can
Willibomb's-
Li.Lela make up this income disparity, by the way? Like he's pondering
Difficult.
really hard. Sorry, that was just such a long pause for me to go. Hey, how can he make his how can he make up the income the difference? 10 seconds of silence before going difficult is amazing.
I've been trying to conceal, internet connectivity issues, but
I know.
no longer. It wasn't actually a 10-second thing.
No, I think it was. I think you just didn't know how to answer it, and now you're trying to disguise that. Now, sailing, he's on the water. Is that going to help him?
I think he needs to like turn these rafts into actual units. Yeah, that much I hope we can agree on. Then there's the question of like where the star is going to be, like what units is he going to get. And usually if you're in the water first, you like to get bombers because the bombers are very effective at when someone puts it into the water, just take all of them out. They can do that, even in the tight space conditions, just with the splash damage. So it's important that both players get on the water quick. But are the bombers going to be in time to deal with like 4 juggernauts now, and soon to be a 5th one here too?
A lot of force coming his way, organization as well.
And then organization, where like as soon as you see organization, you start thinking shields and the superior naval units. But yeah, 54 stars to 19. This feels like a little bit of a repeat of some of the ideas we saw in the last game.
That's a lot. I think it's more than last game. 54 to 19.
Like the
is
absolute
such-
difference is worse, and the relative
Yeah.
difference is way worse.
Yeah.
And the shields start coming out.
Well, everything can. You can do whatever. You probably buy Li.Lela's cities. He wants to just
Like
go
just
for it.
become a
Harry
real
bombs.
estate mogul.
Yeah.
Change the
wins the
genre
game.
of the game.
It's midstream. It's his only way to win. He picks up navigation. Let's see if he's gonna get the bombers in here. That's so much force coming his way. He's having a good think.
Thinking about what he can do, like, yeah. And like
Splash
you
damage.
love splash damage on everything, but what happens on the next turn? You've surrounded yourself with the enemy.
Let's find out. To be fair, the enemy can also do just... Well, that's a lot of splash damage itself. Oh boy. I'm intrigued as to why he's picked up... Well, he's picked up navigation, so I would expect to see a bomber this turn, right?
He's got 16 stars set aside for it, and he's got the one conspicuously unupgraded raft over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Surely, right?
I mean, anything's possible.
He's definitely having to think about how to use the stars. I mean, what else could he possibly do? Now we're all thinking.
He's just gonna chop something, pick up another star.
That's what I mean,
Going
there's-
after a warrior or something.
There's a specific amount of stars he wants in his mind. Catapult.
Yeah. Okay, so no bomber right now.
Okay, interesting.
Got the starfish, but no need for bomber immediately, I guess.
Dude, a bit more income there.
Chopping them with the squeeze up. I don't know if we're bridging the income gap.
All right, what do you think Willibomb does here to do your whole killing blow
There's the
thing? I think.
bridge.
Yep, there it is. There. That's how he does it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, look how many units he has on land that are just so nice and chainable, yeah. He's got a bunch of these, like, you know, riders, which are, you know, great support units. But, it's like, you know, you just take them out. Just take them out all at once. You've got the stars, you can go for chivalry. But, chivalry still feels a little bit, premature here. I mean, like, if you're interested in, like, optimizing for, I need to finish this game as soon as humanly possible, then you're gonna go for chivalry here and try to pressure with that. But, just in terms of, like, you know, Willibomb's been trying to play solidly. He's going to, advance his position in the water here. And we see him do just that with Occultism and ramming. Or ramming and Occultism, rather. He's got the defenders like set up to enter the water, and he just spams out these defense boosted rammers. Clears out all the Li.Lela's units in the water, and then can start taking on the city in the south, the city in the southeast, and then position some bombers to take out that central city. And we see like Li.Lela's the Juggernaut got like 12 damage. Between like all the splash it did to those Juggernauts, and then some more on some other units, and it's vanished, it's gone. Navigation is useful for this, but you know, it's Juggernaut with a defense bonus. Suddenly, like the Juggernaut attack, the bomber attack is feeling pretty puny. So we're retreating our own Juggernaut. Let's try to get protect our own bomber. The bomber catapult combo feels nice, but feels also so vulnerable. Like we only have the one raft. I feel Willibomb can pick up his own bomber here. Then he doesn't really have to advance into range of these catapults. Deals with the bomber immediately, and like heal his own juggernauts. And then gets the other defender can become a scout. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, he's going to advance even further because he knows. Like, I mean, it's basically just like I can, like, why wouldn't I?
Exactly, that's my
I could
point.
win the game in 1 turn, or I could win the game in 5 turns.
Yeah, well, there it is. Brilliant timing on that comment, by the way. Fantastic time on that comment. We have ourselves a winner. We have ourselves a final. Willibomb will go to another final. Will it be his time?